There are over 2 million rental properties in the Midwest. Houses, apartments, duplexes. Most of them are fine, normal, safe places to live. But sometimes you rent a place that comes with more than just 4 walls and a roof. Sometimes you rent something that's been waiting. My name is Chris Bradley. I'm 29. I work as an IT consultant in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In September 2022, I was looking for a new apartment, something cheap, something close to work. I'd been staying with my buddy Mike for 3 months after my breakup with my girlfriend. I needed my own place. Fast. That's how I found the listing. $650 a month. 1 bedroom, River West neighborhood, available immediately. The photos look decent. Old building, 1920s, hardwood floors, big windows. The landlord was an old guy named Eugene Kowalski, 78. Polish, thick accent. When I called, he seemed eager to rent. Too eager, maybe. But I needed a place, and the price was right. I went to see it on a Tuesday afternoon. The building was a 3-story walk-up. Red brick. Looked solid. A bit run down, but not terrible. Eugene met me at the door. Small guy, hunched, nervous energy. He showed me to the apartment. First floor, Unit 1A. We walked in, and honestly, it was perfect for the price. Living room, small kitchen, bedroom with a closet, bathroom that needed updating but functional. There was just one weird thing. In the living room, there was a door. Painted shut, multiple layers of paint, white on white on white. I asked Eugene about it. He waved it off, said it was the old basement access. Building used to have a shared basement, but it flooded in the 80s. They sealed it up. Never used it anymore. He said it was just dead space now. I asked if I could see it. He got uncomfortable, said no, said there was black mold down there, structural damage, not safe. The door stays locked. I figured whatever. Every old building has weird quirks. The price was good. The location was good. I took it, moved in October the 1st. First week was normal, quiet building, couple upstairs seemed nice. I settled in, set up my computer, started working from home. It was on day 8 that I noticed something. At night, around 2 or 3 a.m., I'd hear sounds from behind the painted door. At first, I thought it was pipes. Old building, water hammer, normal stuff. But the sounds weren't like pipes. They were like footsteps, slow, deliberate, going up and down stairs on the other side of that door. I texted Eugene, asked if someone had access to the basement despite what he said. He replied immediately, no. No one goes down there. Building is locked. Must be hearing things from outside or from the upstairs units. But I knew what I heard. The sounds were coming from behind that door. I tried to ignore it, wore headphones to bed, played white noise. But every night, around the same time, the footsteps would start, and they were getting closer to the door, like whatever was down there was climbing the stairs, getting nearer. On October 15th, I woke up at 3:17 a.m. The footsteps were loud, right on the other side of the door. I could hear breathing, heavy, labored, like someone standing just inches away on the other side. I sat up in bed, stared at that door. The breathing continued for 5 minutes, then stopped. Footsteps retreating back down. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. In the morning, I examined the door more carefully. The paint was old, cracked in places. I could see where the door frame had been caulked, sealed. Whoever closed this door really didn't want it opened. But I could also see something else. Scratches on the door, deep gouges in the wood. From the inside, like something had been trying to get out. I took photos, sent them to Eugene, asked what the hell had made those marks. He called me immediately. His voice was shaking. Don't worry about it, he said. Old building, lots of history. The scratches are from when they had rats in the basement. Decades ago. Before it was sealed. Rats don't make scratches like that. These were big, deep, made by something with serious strength. Eugene, I said, what's really down there? Silence. Then he said something that made my blood cold. Nothing's down there now. Just stay away from that door. Don't try to open it. And if you hear sounds, ignore them. They'll stop eventually. They didn't stop. They got worse. Every night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., footsteps, breathing, and now, knocking. 3 slow knocks, from the basement side, like something asking permission to enter. I started sleeping with the lights on, started thinking about breaking the lease. But I'd signed a year contract. I couldn't afford to pay rent here and somewhere else. I was stuck. On October 22nd, I had friends over. My buddy Mike and his girlfriend Sarah. We were having drinks, watching a game. Around midnight, Sarah asked about the painted door. I told her it was the old basement she wanted to see. I said there was nothing to see. It's sealed. But Mike, drunk and curious, walked over to it, knocked on it. "Hey," he yelled, "anyone home?" I told him to stop. Not funny. He laughed, knocked again, louder. Then we all heard it. From the other side, 3 knocks back, the exact same rhythm. Mike stepped away from the door fast. "That was you, right?" he said. Making a joke? I hadn't moved. We all stared at the door. Sarah wanted to leave. They left. I was alone again. That night, the knocking continued. Every hour. 3 knocks. I tried to ignore it, tried to sleep. At 4 a.m., I heard something new, a voice, muffled, coming from behind the door. I couldn't make out words, just the tone, pleading, desperate. I got up, walked to the door, put my ear against it. The voice got clearer. "Help me, please, someone help me." It was a man's voice, older, weak. I backed away. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. But the voice continued. "Please, I've been down here so long, so cold. Please help me." I grabbed my phone, called Eugene. It was 4 in the morning, but I didn't care. He answered on the first ring, like he'd been awake, waiting. "There's someone in the basement," I said. "I can hear them. They're asking for help." Silence. "Eugene, don't open that door," he said. "Whatever you hear, whatever it says, don't open it." "But someone's down there. They need help." "No one's down there," Eugene said firmly. "No one alive." Then he hung up. No one alive. What the hell did that mean? I didn't sleep. Just sat on my couch, staring at that door. At 6 a.m., the voice stopped. The sun came up. The building felt normal again. I went to work in a coffee shop. Couldn't stay in the apartment. That evening, I did research, looked up the building history, the address, any records. What I found made everything worse. The building was constructed in 1924, standard apartment building. But in 1967, something happened. A tenant went missing. Man named Leonard Novak, 54 years old, lived in Unit 1A. My unit. He was reported missing by his sister. She said he'd called her one night, said something was in his apartment, in the basement, something that had been watching him. She thought he was drunk, told him to sleep it off. He was never seen again. Police investigated, found no signs of foul play. His apartment was empty. Door locked from inside, no body, no evidence. He was declared a missing person. Case went cold. But here's the thing, the basement access in his unit, it was found open, the door that's now painted shut. It was wide open. Police searched the basement, found nothing, just old storage. Coal room, flooding damage. They sealed the door after that, said it was a safety hazard. Leonard Novak disappeared in Unit 1A, my unit, and the door to the basement was open when they found the apartment empty. I called Eugene again, told him what I'd found. He was quiet for a long time. Then he told me the truth. The building has a history, he admitted. People hear things, see things, especially in 1A. That's why the rent is cheap. That's why I can never keep tenants long. Most people leave within a month. I felt sick. You knew about this and you rented it to me anyway? I needed a tenant, Eugene said. The building costs money. I'm an old man. I need the rent. You seemed like you could handle it. Handle what? What's down there? I don't know, he said. I've owned this building 30 years. I've never gone in that basement. The door was already sealed when I bought it. Previous owner warned me. Don't open it. Don't let anyone open it. Whatever's down there, it needs to stay there. I wanted to scream. Instead, I asked, has anyone ever opened it? Once, he said, 1998. Tenant was a contractor. Thought he could renovate the basement, make extra storage. He broke the seal, went down with a flashlight. He came back up 3 hours later. White as a sheet, wouldn't talk about what he saw, just packed his stuff and left that night. I had to reseal the door. What did he see? Eugene wouldn't say, claimed the contractor never told him, but I didn't believe him. Eugene knew something. I hung up. Sat there, thinking. I had two choices: move out, break the lease, take the financial hit, or open that door, find out what's down there, end this. Part of me knew that was stupid, dangerous. But another part of me was angry. I was being terrorized in my own home by something I couldn't see, couldn't fight. I wanted answers. On October 28th, I made my decision. I was going to open that door. I bought supplies, a crowbar, a flashlight, a camera to record everything. If I was doing this, I wanted evidence. I told Mike my plan. He thought I was insane, said to just move out. But I was stubborn. I was doing this. On October 30th at 2 p.m., broad daylight, I started breaking the seal. The paint cracked easily. The cork was old, brittle. Within an hour, I'd cleared the frame. The door was just a door now. Old, wooden, with a simple handle and a lock. The lock wasn't engaged. I could open it whenever I wanted. I waited until 3 p.m., maximum daylight. I set up my phone to record, took a breath, and opened the door. Beyond was darkness, stairs leading down, wooden stairs. Old, I clicked on my flashlight, shined it down. The stairs descended about 15 feet. At the bottom, I could see a concrete floor, the basement. It looked empty, normal, just an old basement. I started down the stairs. Each step creaked, loud. At the bottom, I swept my flashlight around. The basement was bigger than I expected. It ran under the entire building. Support pillars, old coal furnace in the corner, long defunct, shelves along the walls, empty, moldy boxes stacked in places. There was water damage. The floor had puddles, probably from that flooding Eugene mentioned, and the smell. God, the smell. Damp, rot. Something else, something wrong. I walked slowly, recording everything, looking for, I don't know what, evidence, answers. That's when I found the room. In the back corner of the basement, there was another door, newer than the rest. Metal, industrial, with a padlock, a serious padlock. Someone had secured this door. Recently. Within the last few decades at least. I approached it. The door was cold to the touch. I pulled on the padlock. Solid. I'd need bolt cutters. I made a note. Kept exploring. The rest of the basement was unremarkable. Just storage, abandoned furniture, old newspapers. I was starting to think this was all in my head, just an old building with weird acoustics. Then I heard it. From behind the locked door. Movement, shuffling, like someone shifting weight. I froze, pointed my flashlight at the door. "Hello?" I called out. The movement stopped. Silence, then 3 knocks. From the other side, the same 3 knocks I'd been hearing every night. I stepped back, my heart racing. "Who's there?" I demanded. The voice came, the same voice I'd heard through my apartment door. "Help me, please. I've been here so long. Let me out." There was someone behind that door. Someone alive. Or something. "I need to call the police," I said. "They'll get you out." "No!" the voice screamed. "No police. They can't help. Only you can help. You have to open this door." "Why? Why can't I call for help?" "Because I'm not supposed to be here. Because if they find me, they'll put me back." "Put you back where?" "Where I came from." That didn't make sense. I backed toward the stairs. "I'm going to get help," I said. "Please." The voice was desperate now. "Don't leave me. I've been alone for so long. So cold, so hungry." I ran, up the stairs, back into my apartment, slammed the door shut. My hands were shaking. There was someone in that basement, locked in that room. For how long? And why? I called the police, told them I'd found someone locked in my basement. They came within 20 minutes. 2 officers. I showed them the basement. They went down. Flashlights out. I waited upstairs. They came back 15 minutes later. "Sir," one of them said, "there's no one down there." "What?" I went down with them. They led me to the metal door. It was open. The padlock was on the ground, broken. The door hung open. The room beyond was empty. Just a small storage room, concrete walls, concrete floor, nothing else. But someone was in there, I insisted. "I heard them. We searched thoroughly," the officer said. There's no one in this basement, no signs anyone has been here in years. They looked at me like I was crazy. I probably looked crazy. They left. I stood in that basement, staring at the empty room. I'd heard someone. I knew I had. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in my living room, lights on, staring at the basement door. At 2 a.m., the knocking started, but not from the basement, from my front door. Someone was knocking on my apartment door. 3 slow knocks. I looked through the peephole. No one there. The knocking continued. I opened the door fast. Ready to confront whoever was messing with me, the hallway was empty. But I heard footsteps, running toward the basement door in my apartment, which was closed. The footsteps stopped at the door, then Basit opened from the inside. The basement door opened by itself, and standing at the top of the basement stairs, visible in the light from my apartment, was a man, old, gaunt, wearing clothes from the 1960s, torn, filthy. He looked at me with hollow eyes. "You opened the door," he said. His voice was the voice I'd heard. "Thank you. You freed me." "Leonard Novak?" I whispered. He smiled, a terrible smile. "I've been waiting," he said, "waiting for someone to open that door, waiting to come back." He stepped into my apartment. I stumbled backward. "You're not real. You're dead. You've been dead for 50 years. "Dead," he agreed, "but not gone. I've been down there, in the dark, in the space between, waiting, and now I'm back." He moved toward me. I ran, out of my apartment, into the hallway, pounded on the neighbor's door. No one answered. I looked back. Leonard was in my doorway, watching me, smiling. "You can run," he said, "but this is my apartment. This is where I died, and now that the door is open, I can stay." I ran outside, into the street, pulled out my phone, called Mike. He came to get me. I never went back to that apartment. Mike and some friends packed my stuff while I waited in the car. They said the apartment was empty. Normal. No sign of anyone, but Mike said the basement door was open. And there were wet footprints, leading from the basement, through the apartment, to the front door. And then, they just stopped. Eugene didn't fight me on breaking the lease. He said he understood. He'd find another tenant. I asked him if he knew about Leonard Novak. He admitted he did. Said Leonard had never left. Said everyone who lived in 1A eventually saw him, eventually heard him. That's why no one stayed long. I asked why he didn't tell me. He said no one ever believed until they experienced it themselves. I moved in with Mike for another month, then found a new place. Different neighborhood, different building. Newer. No basements. I thought I was done with it. But 3 weeks after I moved out, I got a call from the new tenant in 1A. A girl, early 20s. She'd found my number in some mail I'd left behind. She wanted to ask me about the basement, about the sounds, about the door that kept opening. I told her to get out, move immediately. She said she couldn't afford to break the lease. I told her it wasn't worth it, that she needed to leave. She said she'd be fine. She was tough. She could handle it. I never heard from her again. But 2 months later, I saw a news story. A girl found unresponsive in a River West apartment. Cause of death unknown, no signs of trauma. She just died. In her sleep, in Unit 1A. I knew. I knew what killed her. Leonard Novak. Still there, still waiting in that basement, still claiming that apartment as his. The building is still there. Eugene still owns it. He still rents out 1A. The listing is always available, always cheap, and people keep taking it. Because they need a place, because the price is right, and they don't know. They don't know about the basement, about the door, about Leonard Novak, who's been dead for 55 years, but who never left, who lives in that space now, between the living and the dead, in the basement, waiting. I think about it sometimes, about how many buildings in the Midwest have basements like that, spaces that are sealed, that no one goes into, that everyone avoids. How many of them have things living in them, things that used to be people, things that got trapped, things that are waiting for someone to open the wrong door. The answer is probably more than you think. So if you're apartment hunting, if you find a great deal, if there's a door that's painted shut or a basement you're told never to enter, listen to that warning. Because some doors are sealed for a reason. Some basements are meant to stay empty. And some places have tenants who never leave, even after they die. This is Chris Bradley. I live in a new apartment now. 3rd floor, no basement. And every time I sign a lease, I check one thing. I make sure there are no sealed doors, no painted over entrances, no basements I'm not allowed to access. Because I learned my lesson. Some things are buried for a reason, and they should stay buried. But every now and then, late at night, I still hear it. 3 slow knocks, and I wonder, did Leonard Novak follow me? Or is there something else? Something in this new building? Waiting, in the dark, behind a door I haven't found yet. I guess I'll find out. Eventually. They always find a way to let you know they're there. The things in the basement, the things we seal away, the things that wait and wait and wait for someone to open the door.